All right, and we back. Severely apologize for the lack of uploads. I personally have been gone in Michigan for a while, and with everything going on, moving and stuff, it's been a mess. This is a temporary location. I should be here for this week's recording and next week's recording, but then I will be at my new studio house. It's not really a studio house, it's just a house, but I'm going to call my room my studio because it sounds more professional. So, that being said, since we've been out for 2 weeks, there's a lot to talk about. Let's start with probably the biggest ones. The NFL playoffs are officially underway and the first round is complete. The Jets, first off, quick mention, the Jets won just enough games to not get the number one pick. The most Jets thing they do.
That one. Jeez.
The most...
You never see... The weirdest thing is you don't see fans literally cheering for the team to lose very often. Unless you're the Detroit Lions. That's like the only time you'll ever see fans cheering for someone to lose. And then this time the Jets finally are like, you won, why?
The Detroit Lions, rebuilding since... When were the Detroit Lions formed?
Like 1940.
Rebuilding
somewhere.
Since 1940 something. we suck. But I mean, honestly, to be fair, you're gonna probably miss out on Trevor Lawrence. Devontae Smith isn't a bad 2 option.
That's if they take him. I don't know if they'll take him. They have
That's
Jamison
true.
Crowder and Rashad Perryman.
They might still go for a quarterback. I wonder if they still go for like Zach Wilson or Justin Fields. Justin Fields to me is very similar to Kyler Murray in the way that he is such a risk. Like with Kyler Murray, if he is on, he is on, and the other team cannot stop him. But when he is off, it's bad. He throws three picks against the Detroit Lions. So that to me is Justin Fields. He can either throw 3 interceptions against Northwestern or throw for 6 touchdowns against Clemson. You never know what you're going to get out of the guy.
Well, for me, Justin Fields, this was what my brother was talking to me about, and I pretty much completely agree with him. And it's that he's a lot like JT Barrett. And it's exactly like you were saying. He has those games where, well, he looks like an all-star, and he looks like the next Russell Wilson type player who can never be stopped. So no matter what you do, he just will throw for like 600 yards and 7 touchdowns. There's nothing you can really do. Or he plays that game against the Lions where he throws like 3 picks or 4, and you're like, what in the world happened? He's a very streaky kind of player. It depends what version of him you get. And hey, if you get that good version, that's going to be a very good player. But, again, that's if he plays that.
His actual play style is probably closer to a Dak Prescott, though. But we'll talk more about the draft after the playoffs are done. We'll actually kind of do more deep dives into some of the prospects. And the entire first round, we'll make our own mock drafts. But that's after the playoffs. Right now, all I want to talk about is the playoffs. And we're going to go game by game as to what our predictions were, what happened. And I was in Michigan the whole time, hanging out with friends most of the time. So Mitch over here will be able to tell you a bit more about most of the games. I really only the only games I really watched were the Colts-Bills and a little bit of the Browns-Steelers. Everything else I didn't really pay much attention to. But let's start off with the Colts and the Bills. I think we both had the Bills winning this, right?
Yes, I was actually really close on this one, surprisingly. I nailed the Bills. I had 27 for the Bills, and I had 19 for the Colts, so I wasn't far off.
I think I went 24-17 or something, or 21-17 or something like that for the Bills-Colts. I still had the Bills winning, but it's good to see the Bills win, snap obviously a 25-year playoff win drought. So yeah. That's like the Detroit Lions finally doing something. That was fun to watch. I've been rooting for the Bills because I root for another one of those underdog. Oh my gosh, Bull's playing. Okay, sorry. I just saw Bull. I just saw Bull on the TV, and I got really excited because Bull just drilled a 3. Okay.
Oh my god.
NBA episode is later, but Bull. But yeah, no, I mean 25 years and they finally won a playoff game. It didn't come easy either. But their defense stifled them at the end and not let Phillip Rivers get the Colts anywhere near field goal range.
Well, I did. I was at work for this playoff game, but I love football, so I just listened to it through my earbuds the entire day, and it was close throughout. I mean, this was a back and forth game. I expected it to be very close because I felt the Colts have a very good defense. They'd be able to slow down the Bills enough to keep it close. But I didn't think the offense would be able to do enough to pull them through because they're a good offense. They have some nice players. I mean, Phillip Rivers obviously has been in the league forever, so he knows exactly what he's doing. Jonathan Taylor's been very good. T.Y. Hilton was starting to heat up. So I thought Colts make it close, but Bills will prevail and end what has been a very long drought. There's been a lot of – all these teams are coming in. The Bucks won their first playoff game since 2003. The Browns and the Bills won for the first time since 1995, and I think the Browns won for the first time since 1994. We'll talk about that game later.
Cries and sad Detroit Lion. Cries and Detroit Lions. Wait, they haven't won since 1994. That means they haven't won since the technical inception of their franchise. Because remember, in 2000 I forgot what year they got sold and became the Ravens. They only became the Browns again in like 2000, I thought.
Well, the Browns, it said that this was their first playoff appearance since 2002.
Okay.
So it's been a while for...
I remember there was the one that was like close to a playoff game that would have gotten them into the playoffs or something, where like they reversed a call that was happened 2 plays ago, and the Browns fans threw a bunch of beer bottles on the field.
Oh yeah, that sounds familiar. I can't remember what game.
It was against the Jaguars. I know that much. I think.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That was fun, but it's great to see the Bills get a win. And like I said, their defense right at the end was what saved them because the Colts were close to getting into field goal range, and they held their ground at the end.
Yeah, very impressive win for Buffalo. I don't like their next matchup, but still a very good win for the Bills Mafia. Getting that
Break
first
those
win,
tables. Break those tables.
Playoff win for the first time in like 25 years is definitely something big. And also you won the division, breaking the Patriots streak of like 12, 13 in a row or something like that.
Yeah.
So I think that's huge for Buffalo, and they'd also had hosted their first home playoff game in 25 years, but there's also that.
And now we get to go to the fun game. I texted Mitch after this, and I said, "I'm sorry, but you can't talk trash about the Rams anymore."
And I said, "No, but I can talk trash about
the Seattle." You're a Seahawks fan, so you take it away. The Seahawks couldn't beat them without Jared Goff. You watched the game. What happened?
Yeah, miserable performance for Seattle. First of all, they're playing without Jared Goff. They eventually did put him in because their backup ended up getting hurt too. So they had to put in Jared Goff anyway, who was hurting and, well, had surgery on, what was it, a stinger? He had surgery on, I forget.
He still won by 10.
Either way, he was hurt, and basically all the Rams did in the entire game was run Cam Akers right up the middle a billion times,
28
and
parries.
they could not stop him. I mean, it was whatever the Rams wanted to do. I mean, even early, it really looked like Seattle might have had a shot, but the Seattle offense was miserable. Early in the game, Wilson with a horrible throw, ended up being a pick six. Really, I think that kind of changed the game because it changed the entire attitude. Rams jumped out to an early lead, and Seattle just never came back. Defense was very, very lazy, bad plays, not really doing much of anything. In the offense, I mean, I gotta give credit to the Rams defense. They have played outstanding football this year. I'm going to give credit to them. Very, very good football. Also, Seattle's offense did not play very well.
That was all. I mean, Rams played great, but that was more a loss on Seattle's end, from what I've heard. It's funny. My dad, when we were driving back, my dad made a funny point. He's like, the Rams are always that team that like you never expect to beat you, and then once they beat you, you're like, how the heck did they just beat us? What?
I mean, really just the Rams defense. That's really what I thought would be the big thing for Seattle. It was because you'd seen a lot of inconsistency from the Seahawks in the entire season, which really got me nervous when they played the Rams, which have an outstanding defense. They turn turnovers into points.
Mm-hmm.
So for Seattle, it was more of you got to find consistency. Beginning of the year, they were putting up like 40 points a game and just absolutely obliterating everybody's defenses. Then all of a sudden it switched over to their old style of play, which was their defense is playing well and their offense does enough to win.
Mm-hmm.
So there had to be some kind of a median in there where you find some sort of consistency. And well, neither side showed up against the Rams and they ended up losing by 10, playing a miserable game. But...
And they're gonna get to go to the next round and play another notoriously bad playoff team in the Green Bay Packers. I'm saying it right now, the Packers. I'm sorry for all you Packers fans. I'll be the one to say it. Y'all suck in the playoffs. Aaron Rodgers is not a clutch player. He is not good in the playoffs. I don't know why. But Aaron Rodgers just is not winning the playoffs. But we'll talk about that when we predict the next games. Buccaneers and the Potato Team. The Buccaneers were a little scared, a little scary for a minute there how close it was. But they do pull away from Washington, proving to all y'all people that said Tom Brady was a system player, well, look who's in the second round, and look whose system didn't even make it to the playoffs. That's what I thought. Tom Brady is no system player. Tom Brady is the GOAT. Can't change my mind.
Well, in my prediction, I gave the Bucs 31 points. Right on target. I gave the football team 3.
They scored
really
20
close
more.
on that.
They scored 20 more.
I was really I was accurate on Tampa Bay, but in this game, I mean, Washington, the only thing that they really had was a defense. I like their defense. Their defense has some really good players that really step up in big moments, and really that's what got them to 7-9, and apparently in the playoffs because the rest of the division sucks. Fun fact about the Washington football team for this season, they tied the 2010 Seattle Seahawks for the worst division winner. But honestly, the only reason Washington got in this game probably is because Philly decided to bench Jalen Hurts late in the game when it was very close. Yeah, I think that was one of the most stupid decisions I've ever seen in my life. I don't know what Philly was thinking, but I think all the Washington fans were saying, thank you very much. We're in the playoffs now. And, hey, they made it close. Really, for Washington's offense, their entire team really basically relies on Antonio Gibson. But for some reason, Tyler Heineke is their leading rusher. Oh yeah, Gibson was 14 of 31. All right. But I kind of was on and off watching this one. I saw bits and pieces of it. I forget what I actually was watching. I think there was a basketball game playing at that time, but
maybe
this was a really impressive game, I think, for Washington because they kept it close with this team and they made a very good effort to try and take it. But Tampa Bay just kept in front. They did not relinquish anything. They didn't cave in. Tampa Bay just stayed in front and tried to just take it. And eventually they did. They played very good football. Tampa Bay, they did okay, I think. They were looking ahead, I think, in my opinion, honestly. It didn't look like they were prepared to play the football team. It just looked like they overlooked them and were looking at the next round.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought Tampa Bay would move on and play the Packers, assuming no upsets. Well, there was one, so they'll be playing the New Orleans Saints, where we'll have two 40-year-old quarterbacks playing each other.
Which we'll talk about that in the game in a bit. But moving on to Sunday's slate, the Ravens get revenge against the Titans, 20-13. Lamar Jackson no longer winless in the playoffs, unfortunately. Because if you don't know this about me, I don't like Lamar Jackson. Now, I don't like hate the guy. Like, don't get me wrong, he's a cool dude. I don't like him. He played for Louisville. Instantly, I don't like you because you played for Louisville. I don't like the Ravens because my dad's a Steelers fan, so I have to hate the Ravens. I like the Titans, and I like Derrick Henry. So this was kind of upsetting. But a good win for the Ravens is just by looking at it, it looks like Lamar Jackson carried this team on his shoulders and still barely won. He's going to need to lean more on his teammates if he wants to beat some of the more powerhouses, but a win is a win, so Ravens, you get to move on to the next round. And since your favorite Browns won, you don't have to play the Chiefs right away. So all the Ravens fans are thanking the Browns for winning.
Yeah, this was, I thought, by far the best game of the weekend.
Oh, it looked a good game.
Yeah, this was easily, I thought, best game of the weekend. It was going to be very fun. My prediction was Ravens 24 and Titans 23. I thought it would be back and forth, which it pretty much was for the entire game. It was just a little bit more low scoring.
Mm-hmm.
But the big thing for the Ravens was they contained Derrick Henry. Holy cow, they did a very good job defending him. It was very impressive. And I'm telling you right now, if that defense shows up against the Bills, they have no chance. No chance whatsoever.
That's better than they did last year.
That was a very good game from Baltimore. Winning that is very big, especially when you're now going to the Bills Mafia instead of Kansas City. I like that matchup very much for Baltimore. Their offense is looking a little better. Lamar Jackson can just run like the stinking wind, and that's really all he needs to do because no one can stop him running the football. I mean, you saw it against the Titans. He just gashed them every single time. But that was a very impressive game for the Ravens. I'm really excited. I think they have a very good chance of beating the Bills in the next round. We get Chiefs and well, I mean, hey, you never know. Browns could win another game. No, they're not. But very likely that we'll see a Chiefs-Ravens AFC championship game, and that would be a crap ton of fun. I would really be excited to watch that game.
Bills are going to play spoiler. What? Anyway, moving on. Saints-Bears. The first ever NFL playoff game to be aired on Nickelodeon.
Yeah,
with slime cannons.
Stupid. This has got the most stupid game known to mankind.
And the
Bears got in the playoffs, losing 6 games in a row. I thought this would be a blowout. Honestly, I had I think I had there it is, 34-10 Saints over the Bears. A little more low scoring than that, but the Saints pretty much dominated Chicago. It wasn't really close. I mean.
Yeah.
I watched the Nickelodeon stream for a little bit. It was too weird for me. I just said, screw it.
It was funny.
Listening to Tony Romo. Nope.
The refs accidentally also dropped the F-bomb on Nickelodeon.
Really?
I saw a clip of it. There was the ref was like mentioning the foul. Another ref comes over to say something, and he just looks at him and he goes, "You say?" While he's mic'd up on Nickelodeon. And it's like, oh no, this is like the XFL all over again. You have to blurt out everything everybody's saying on the sidelines. But yeah, Saints roll, beat the Bears. Saints-Bucks is going to be a fun one. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then, holy crap, Ben Roethlisberger. 2 interceptions in the first quarter. 4 interceptions in total. I mean, yes, you threw for 501 yards, which is also insane. But the Browns they capitalized. They capitalized on the Steelers' mistakes. The Steelers came in playing sloppy, and they got knocked out because of it.
Well, the big thing for the Browns is that first quarter. They were up 28-0.
And 35-10 at half, too.
They were dominating the Pittsburgh. I mean, first play of the game, you fumble it, goes into the end zone, they recover it, easy score. Next thing you know, they're at midfield, turn it over, throw a pick, and then Cleveland gets it. Next drive, they They have to punt away. Cleveland drives again. Usually scores another touchdown. And then again, you throw a pick, and then Cleveland scores like in 2 seconds right after that. I mean, it was a miserable first quarter. And it basically, that basically was what the game was.
No disrespect. No disrespect to the Browns fans. Like, I'm happy for y'all. The Steelers lost that game. The Browns did not win that game. Props to the Browns for getting those turnovers and actually capitalizing on them. But the Steelers gave that game away. Like, that wasn't even close.
Well, look, it was in the first quarter. It was 28-0. Since that point, 37-20.
Mm-hmm.
Steelers completely reshuffled after that point, and they played a little better. But obviously, when you're down 28-0 in the first quarter, it's very hard to come back. So
I cannot wait.
They did make a game out of it, but they still weren't anywhere near coming back. It was going to be basically impossible.
I cannot wait to see Cleveland hang up a playoff win banner. A banner for getting a playoff win.
They very well could. They probably would. I mean,
it's like UCF raising up their national championship banner. All right, now we go to the divisional round. Rams Packers. This one's hard for me to pick because obviously the Packers are the better team. But the Packers are just so bad in the playoffs. I feel like if Jared Goff is playing, I feel like the Rams are gonna upset the Packers. But if Jared Goff doesn't play, I'll give it to the Packers at that point. I don't know. I feel like the Rams could roll into this game with the momentum of the Seattle game.
Goff or no Goff, I give this one to the Packers. I'm sorry, but Lambeau Field is a different beast.
Yeah, but nobody's there.
Lambeau Field. Los Angeles Rams, you're playing in California. I don't even think they're really used to the snow, let's be honest here.
They were in St. Louis for the longest time. Most of these people that are on this team are from the St. Louis era. St. Louis gets cold.
Well, St. Louis, they're in a dome, so...
Oh, they were, yeah, you're right. I think that my biggest reason for giving it to the Rams is because they're rolling off of the momentum from last week. That's why I hate having buys. I hate going with bye teams. I always want to go with the team that's winning right now and rolling. That's the only reason I can see the Rams winning. But I would think the Packers would probably win.
Yeah, I'm giving it to the Packers. It will be a closer game. It's not going to be a blowout. I think the Rams will make it close. I'll give the Packers like a 10-point win.
That would be so great. I would love if the Rams beat them. I would love if the Rams beat them. That would just be amazing.
I would too, even though I hate the Rams. I hate the Packers too. I hate them more. So
I don't like either of them. I don't want either of them to win the division. But of those two, the Rams are the lesser of the two evils.
Yeah, that's big. That's basically it.
Ravens.
I'll be a close game. I'll say Packers win like 20-10. It won't be high scoring. I think the Rams will once again slow down the opposing offense, but they have no offense of their own, so they're not going to make much difference anyway.
Ravens Bills. Honestly, in Buffalo, I know there's not that much of a home field advantage, but I think I'm still going to give it to the Bills in a very close game. I like the I don't like the Ravens, but I like their team, but I just don't think Lamar is there in the passing game enough just yet. I think he's going to be unstoppable once he hits that perfect throwing range and he becomes like a Russell Wilson type player. But as of right now, I don't think his legs can get them past this fiery Bills squad. I think this Bills squad is confident and is on a roll and is kind of feeling like they're rolling. Obviously winning the division and all that. I say give me the Bills, but I wouldn't be surprised with the Ravens one, considering the way they ended the year on a hot streak too. These are two hot teams coming at each other.
I think this will be a Ravens win. I think they pull the upset because of one thing, and that's their defense. Really, that's really got them to, I think they're 11-5. That's really what got
the defense,
their record. Their defense has been unbelievable. when Lamar Jackson didn't exactly put up inhuman numbers, it was the defense that showed up. I mean, their defense has been outstanding this season, and now here they are after basically containing Derrick Henry, one of the best running backs in the league. So I think the Ravens make this one a close game, but I think the Bills will fall just short in this one. I'm going to give the Ravens a very close win, going 27-23.
Yeah. The Ravens just stopped one of the best rushers in the league. Now they're going to have to stop one of the best passing offenses in the league, especially that Josh Allen Stephon Diggs connection. Browns Chiefs.
Congratulations on winning the playoff game, Cleveland.
Now you get to be the Chiefs warm-up. You get to be the Chiefs warm-up game.
I mean, I like the Browns. Okay, I like seeing that they actually won a playoff game finally, and
I like Patrick Mahomes more though.
I don't see how Kansas City loses this one because of one reason: they're not the Steelers.
Pretty much.
They don't go go down 28-0 in the first quarter. That doesn't happen. The Chiefs don't do that. And so Browns don't. I don't see how they make it close. This one, Chiefs put up close to probably like 40 points. Maybe the Browns get like 20 something.
20 to 25 range.
45 to 24.
Something like that. And then Bucks Saints. Do you see any difference? Do you see the Bucks being able to finally overcome the Saints?
Well, I think this will be the best game of Sunday. Ravens Bills. Sure. Best game of Saturday. But Bucks Saints, very hard to beat a team 3 times in one season. But this could be the year. Saints when the Saints played them both times, played them early in the year, played them late, bombed them in Tampa Bay, and handled them honestly in New Orleans week 1. This is playoff Tom Brady. This isn't regular season Tom Brady. So I think this is going to be a lot closer than 38-3 or 34-23 for that matter. Bucks defense got a lot of talent. Saints defense got a lot of talent. These are really just 2 very talented teams going against each other. So I'm going. It's hard to pick this one because they're both so stinking good.
That's it.
But
I'm going Saints in a very close one.
That's what I was going to say, too. Drew Brees, this is probably going to be the last year for Drew Brees.
He's on a mission.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to be looking to get a Super Bowl ring to end his season. I'm giving this very close one. Very fun game. Better watch it. It's going to be an absolute tug-of-war type game. Give me 34-31. Absolute thriller.
Mm-hmm. And that's going to be our NFL talk for the week. Next week, obviously, we'll go ahead and talk divisional or championship round, what we think is going to be going on. And, yeah, other than that, we will see you all later. Peace out.